Stop everything you are doing because Pep Guardiola has just said something about Arsenal that changes the entire conversation around this season. And by the end of this video, you might be angry, excited, and honestly a little bit nervous about where this club is heading. So welcome back to Gunners Updates, your daily home for everything Arsenal. In the next few minutes, we are breaking down Pep's stunning admission ahead of the Carabao Cup final, a transfer story that makes absolutely no sense, a world-class midfielder who rejected Arsenal for a reason you have to respect, and a potential summer decision that could blow up Arteta's midfield. First of all, let's talk about what Pep Guardiola just admitted, because this is huge. With the Carabao Cup final at Wembley fast approaching, Arsenal versus Manchester City, Pep was asked in his press conference whether Arsenal now have one of the best defensive systems he has ever faced in his career, and his answer was a simple but powerful yes. Let that sink in for a second. This is a man who coached Barcelona with Piqué and Puyol, Bayern Munich with Prime Boateng and Hummels, and Manchester City with unlimited resources, and he is publicly saying Arsenal's defense is right up there with the best he has ever seen. Pep went even further, praising Arsenal's 1 versus 1 defending, their aggression in duels, and how uncomfortable they make opponents feel when isolated. He basically admitted that Arsenal defenders don't get beaten easily, don't get dribbled past easily, and dominate their individual battles. That is massive respect, and it tells you exactly how far this team has come. When you compare this to the last time Arsenal played City in a Carabao Cup final back in 2018, the contrast is embarrassing. Back then we had Koscielny, Mustafi, and Chambers, and City tore us apart. Watching Mustafi try to handle Sergio Aguero was painful. Fast forward to now, and Arsenal are walking into Wembley with William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, two of the most dominant centre-backs in world football, players who have already shown they can handle Erling Haaland. Pep knows it, City know it, and that is why the psychological battle has already started. While Arsenal's defense is earning global respect, the transfer planning behind the scenes is starting to look chaotic, and that brings us to a story that honestly makes no sense at all. Reports are claiming Arsenal are interested in 100M McTOMINAY for a fee close to €100 million. Yes, you heard that right. Manchester United sold McTominay to Napoli for around £25 million just 2 years ago, and now Napoli want 4 times that amount. McTominay has been excellent in Serie A, putting up impressive goal contributions from midfield, arriving late in the box, using his physicality, and becoming a genuine threat. But here is the problem everyone seems to be ignoring. He is 29 years old. Arsenal would be spending €100 million on a player with no resale value to be a rotation option. That goes completely against the recruitment model Arteta and Edu have been building. Arsenal need midfield depth, yes, but they need smart signings, not panic moves that block younger talents and waste huge money. And speaking of midfield targets, this next story is emotional because Arsenal actually tried something big on deadline day. According to Christian Falk, Arsenal made a late move for Bayern Munich's Leon Goretzka, a genuine world-class midfielder, Champions League winner, Bundesliga serial winner, and a player perfectly suited to the Premier League. The deal almost made sense. Goretzka was interested, the opportunity was there, but he said no, not because he didn't like Arsenal, but because he had already promised Bayern and their fans that he would not leave in January. He kept his word. Even when a dream move was on the table, he refused to break his promise. That is pure character. And here is where it gets interesting. Goretzka's contract expires this summer. He will be available on a free transfer. Juventus want him, Milan want him, Atletico want him, Napoli want him, and Arsenal absolutely should be in that race. A free, world-class, experienced midfielder as depth behind Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi makes perfect sense. Which brings us to the most worrying story of all. Reports suggest that if Arsenal signs Sandro Tonali this summer for around £100 million, Arteta is prepared to drop Martin Zubimendi from the starting lineup. Think about that for a second. Arsenal spent over £50 million on Zubimendi last summer, beat Barcelona, Bayern and Liverpool to his signature, and he has been excellent alongside Declan Rice. Now 1 year later, he could be pushed aside. That is how you lose players. Zubimendi did not leave Real Sociedad to sit on the bench, and if that happens, Arsenal risk losing a world-class midfielder almost immediately. that would be terrible squad management. A much smarter option would be signing a younger prospect like Ayuadi, someone who can learn, rotate, and develop without disrespecting a key player. So this is where Arsenal are right now. A team being praised by Pep Guardiola, feared for their defense, but facing massive decisions in the transfer market that could either take them to the next level or completely disrupt the balance Arteta has built. Now it's over to you. Are Saliba and Gabriel the best centre-back pairing in the world right now? Should Arsenal even consider paying that kind of money for McTominay? Would you take Goretzka on a free? And would dropping Zubimendi for Tonali be a disaster? Get involved in the comments. Smash the like button if this opened your eyes. Subscribe to Gunners Updates for daily Arsenal content. And as always, come on you Gunners.